also the selling back of used games is totally getting cut into the price with DLC. Like, how many people are really selling back their games when they know that like $20 more content, which is going to end up being like 4, 5, 6 hours more of gameplay, is going to be out through the
Yeah.
lifetime of this game in the couple of years. So why wouldn't you just keep this game so you can play the awesome sweet stuff, that the special stuff. Now some DLC really sucks, but like Mass Effect's DLC, I've never been disappointed with the DLC I bought. I need to get the newest DLC out for that one, the one where Shepard goes back and takes Omega with what's her face. That's gonna be I've been waiting for that DLC. I thought that was gonna come out first, the first DLC, but it didn't. So I need to get that. That reminds me, I am gonna start a Mass Effect series sometime after the Dead Space series, probably after the BioShock series.
Let's see, with the new Dead Space 3 bonus, if you pre-order Dead Space 3 limited edition, it includes 2 bonus suits and 2 weapons available to use day 1. What?
To use right at the start of the game. I think that's.
Oh, I see what you mean, but it won't. But it'll be bad later on, maybe. Yeah, you have the Witness suit, insulated suit to help you explore the harsh terrain, and First Contact suit built for long-term space exposure. The Evangelizer weapon, heavy-duty assault rifle and shotgun combination, and Negotiator weapon, Tesla-powered instrument for organic tissue dismemberment. And then if you get just the regular pre-order Dead Space 3 and receive GameStop exclusive in-game EG900 SMG, which is it's a Gov Earth issued submachine gun built for urban warfare. It's compact but deadly, sporting an internal hyper accelerator for maximum damage. So depending on what you get, you can get something from GameStop, but they always usually give you something if you do that if you pre-order shit.
Yeah. Now, well, since we're on that subject, let's just start talking about Dead Space 3.
Yeah.
The new stuff in it, because so I'm playing through the first one. I don't know what the second one is. I'm playing through the first one. I don't want to ruin any of the stories. So we're not talking about any of the story shit. So don't even. We're not. No spoilers. No
Sorry.
spoilers.
I'll try not to.
Especially for anyone that maybe deciding to play through the series also right now. I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Fuck it, I want to pick up Dead Space and play through the series. I haven't played it before."
Yeah, it's,
we can't be the only ones.
And that was the only thing. Is like I was like, I'm bored with the games right now. Like I have Far Cry, and I get bored of open world.
My problem with this is how did we miss such a good game?
That was the biggest thing. Was when I started, I was like, let's see, Dead Space 2 is coming out. I mean, if 3 is coming out, they have to be doing at least decently well.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're gonna make.
I always heard they were really good games.
Right.
I never buy a whole lot of horror games, even though I have so much fun playing them because they always keep me like on the edge of my seat. I can't play them for very long. Like my episodes, each one, like I create, take a break, like I record it, take a break, edit it, and start posting it before I could then start another episode. Like I can't. I don't know, like because the games get me like really all strung up. Like I'm not faking it when you guys watch the videos. I'm not faking what I'm doing. Like that's really me freaking out to the game. So like that is really what happens. So like I do get strung out on the games, but I get so into them is probably why I like them so much. But it's also why I probably don't play them as much, is because I can't sit there like Mass Effect. I can sit there for like 6 hours and just play the shit out of it. Dead Space, I will play it for an hour and I will feel physically exhausted from it.
But I mean, that's the biggest thing, is that how did we miss such a good game? I mean, like that's the exact thing. Was I was like, I'm bored. I need something to do. So like Dead Space 3, obviously doing something good. So when I picked it up, I instantly told Braxton, like I started playing it, I was like, you have to get this game. I was like, you have to. Mm-hmm. It's a game that it's a must play, must do. I mean, it's a shitload of fun, and it definitely keeps you on your seat. I mean, like it's like kind of open world where like you can kind of like go into psych apartments and get stuff, but for the most part, it's kind of like on a follow, kind of like a track kind of area.
I was gonna say that too.
It's not, but I mean, it's not so much follow on a track where it's just follow one thing. I mean, you go back and forth. I mean, obviously it's a ship, so I mean, obviously you're gonna go back and forth, but like between everything on the very first game and even the second game, you do the same thing because it's all big ships. So you kind of go back and forth, but at the same point in time, you don't feel like you're like following one path. I mean, there's kind of different things that like kind of different farmers you can go off to. I mean, and there's so much happening that you don't care that you're on that track, on that like one path, because there's so much happening in like during that path that you're just like, fuck it, I don't care. Like this is how it's gonna be. I mean, you expect that when you're on a ship, though. You expect if you're gonna be on this like kind of ship that you're gonna go back and forth a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing I like that. Okay, so I don't like that it's so. It really is really pathy. Like, you pretty much are kind of following the direct path. Because I realized, okay, so at one point, if you watch my series, actually, it might have been in the second video, so I'm not sure since that video got corrupted. I can't remember if it's in the actual episode you posted on YouTube or if it was the one I recorded. But at one point, I go the wrong way. All right, I don't, because I always like to go the path it doesn't tell me to go, just to see what's over there. Well, that path was actually the next path you're supposed to take, so I got the next chapter part done before I got the part I was supposed to do done.
Yeah.
So I realized, like, really there isn't a whole lot of branching off exploration. If it is, it's like one little path to a closet. That's it, you know? So I hope that's just Dead Space 1. I'm not sure what Dead Space 2 is like. I hope that's just Dead Space 1.
Dead Space 2 is kind of the same thing. I mean, Dead Space 2 is still, you're on, Dead Space 2 takes place on another ship.
Yeah, well, I knew that.
I mean, it's still kind of, from when I played it, it was still kind of, like, for the most part, it was still full. I mean, it was a much bigger ship, so you didn't, like, go through like places as much as you did the other one, but it's still areas where like either you like it's connected to places you already went through, or it's places that you are about to go to after what you're done with. So I mean, Dead Space 2 is still kind of like that.
But what I do like is even though they have this kind of path, when you have to go through it and back through it or whatever, you know what I mean?
It's constantly changing.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, like, because of the horror genre, you're able to go and, like, something just fucking happened there while you weren't in there, dude. Like, now the walls are covered in blood, and what are you going to do? Like, are you, like, you should be freaking out right now, and usually you do freak out, because something bad is always about to happen in Dead Space. Like, there is always something bad about to happen.
And like, and the biggest thing that always gets me when I'm playing that, when I was playing it, was that like I'll come back to a place and all the bodies are gone, and I'm just like, well, fuck. There's like the next amount of like guys I have to battle, because all those bodies that were laying there dead are disappeared, and their blood's still sitting there. So it's like, well, fuck. Now I have to fight them soon, because they're all gonna pop up. Like you know, it was the people laying there, and it's just like, well, damn.
Yeah, I get my thing is, oh shit, I just lost it. It'll hit me again sometime. I don't know. It was something about being scared about something. The third person view that they give you really kind of like, okay, so why it's a little difficult at times, like it's not that difficult, it's really easy to work with. But it's a little difficult to see what's going on, like, you know, peripheral vision wise, because it's like third person over the shoulder, so you can't really see side to side that well unless you completely turn Isaac's body, which most of the time you don't want to. I like to just keep going, you know.
I don't want to look behind me.
So I either like first person because that's, you know, meant to be, or right behind the back third person, because then you can see everything. But this over the shoulder third person works out great for horror games because, holy crap, like, shit appears from every side, and you have no fucking idea they're there until they bash you in the face. Like, it works. Like, they make it work. And that's,
Definitely.
Like, EA games, there's very few really good ones, you know what I mean? Like, there's some mediocre ones, there's some really shit ones, but there's only, like, a very few that are, like, I know EA doesn't actually make the games, but the ones that EA owns or whatever that are really good, Dead Space is definitely one of them, and, you know, Mass Effect is definitely one of them. I know that EA doesn't make them again. I know they're not the developers, they're just the publishers, but they still, like, pay the companies who develop the games. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, it's definitely one of the very few. I mean, all the genres kind of have very few. Like, Blizzard only has, like, 3 games that they make. And to be honest, I'm quite disappointed right now with all 3. StarCraft 2's been out for too long without an update. I know a new one's about to come out or whatever, but it's taken fucking forever. Diablo 3 was disappointing, and World of Warcraft is just getting worse, and they need to do something. I don't know. They need to do another MMO of not World of Warcraft. So, yeah, that's just... Blizzard used to make amazing games. I feel like they're just going like this now. But that's kind of Activision in general.
That's what happens. I mean, especially something like with World of Warcraft that's been out for so long, you can only do so much to keep everybody interested.
Yeah.
Like, you can only do so much more by time, and then, like, eventually people just start falling off because they get bored of it. I mean, it's not that it's not good, which, I mean, it's not good anymore, but it's not that. It's just that
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of
people...
people think this is one of the best expansions, but I don't. I didn't. I mean, I stopped playing it. I got to
Right.
90 and then stopped.
Yeah, exactly. But people still want something, like, new. They're tired of Warcraft in general. I mean, people want something new now, something exciting to come out. But nothing... But for some reason, like, still nothing can overtake World of Warcraft because it's just too big at the moment.
Well, the problem is the MMO genre is in this weird phase of how to learn with free-to-play. So free-to-play can't make as much money, or it can be profitable. All right, it's just not going to be as profitable. Oh, excuse me. It's not going to be as profitable. And if you do it wrong, you fuck your game up.
Right.
Star Wars: The Old Republic did it wrong. You know what I mean? After they went not free to play, they definitely did it wrong when they went to free to play. Bad how they went. You know, they took basic game features away from a person and said, "Hey, you have to pay for it." That is RuneScape. All right, RuneScape is not a real game. I don't consider it a real game because it makes you pay to play basic. You know what I mean? If you're gonna say this is a free to play game, you can't make me pay to do, you know, certain aspects that are key to the game to your gameplay and call it free to play. Like free to play needs to be as you know, pretty stuff. You know, Guild Wars 2 is doing it right. Guild Wars
Right.
2 is doing it perfect. I like what Guild Wars 2 is doing, but the problem with Guild Wars 2, I mean, it takes so long to level in that damn game. Man, I haven't probably put in as much time as I want to because it's an MMO and they really take a lot of time. But is so time dedicated. And the other problem is like socially it's really different compared to whatever you would be used to. Like the whole guild thing is not quite the same, and like people can see the guild chat but not see the, I don't know. It's really complicated through some of this stuff, and it needs to be simplified, made easier, made more wanting to use, and you know they need to add in a lot of stuff that World of Warcraft does socially, because socially that's why World of Warcraft is around anymore. All of its gameplay aspects are out of date, you know, but its
Yeah.
social aspects, they're keeping it good. They're, you know, they're making sure that you can keep in contact with your friends, and no matter what game they're playing, you know, anything like that, you know, no matter what Blizzard game they're playing, um, and stuff like that. And you know, the guild system's a lot better. Everything, you know, that's why like someone needs to take all the social aspects of World of Warcraft, take them, put them into a better free-to-play game with better, you know, with all the actual game stuff, you know, current and not, you know, 8 years old. And that is what needs to come out to kill anything. Any of the, because I wouldn't even say World of Warcraft is number one anymore. It's like this foot race that no one knows who's in the lead, because no one cares about the, like, to be honest, like the MMO meter is just like down here, like in the gaming world. You barely hear anything about MMOs. Like you heard when Guild Wars 2 and World of Warcraft came out, only because of their release they were big. And then they dropped off like a month later. They both went fell flat. Does not matter what DLC that they both had DLC or not DLC, but they both had boss updates since then, and it's barely moved the meter. You know what I mean? Console games in general, I think are real. Not necessarily console games. Some of these are also on the computer, but games that aren't MMOs are just crushing it, killing it. You know, they're making so much money right now, head over heels, and the MMO genre or whatever needs to be better.
Yeah.
RPGs are making actually the RPG genre in general is kind of like Skyrim's the last Skyrim, Mass Effect, but Mass Effect is like a sci-fi RPG. It's a lot different. You know what I mean? It's kind of on its. I mean, there's other sci-fi RPGs, but games that are really big right now are like Dead Space 3 that's about to come out, BioShock Infinite, 2 horror games. All right, so we haven't had really big horror games, I don't think, in a while, in a good little bit. I don't know. Would you consider BioShock a horror game? It kind of is.
Yeah, I don't know. The
It did
first one
not
was
scare
more
me
than
as
the
much
second
as,
one.
huh?
The first one was more than the second one,
Yeah. And
but
I feel like BioShock Infinite doesn't even feel like it's going to be.
I don't think so because it's just too bright.
They're out in
I
the sun.
mean, unless they're expecting
It
to do
could be.
something
They could blow us away and scare the
Oh,
shit out of me. Like, you know.
right? I mean, it could be something completely ridiculous in the sun, and we could be like, "Oh fuck, we did not expect that." But right now, I just don't know.
It's
I
not
mean,
part of the storyline. It's not the same storyline. I know Bioshock Infinite isn't. But it says it has similar gameplay concepts and themes. I don't know.
yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll have to see. But
Oh,
for
you know what we
now,
forgot to mention in Dead Space?
what's
Completely
that?
back a subject. Dude, drop in and drop out co-op.
Yeah, for 3, that'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Be fun. I mean,
Every game, Skyrim like fucked this up, okay? I'm sure I would still be playing Skyrim right now. Like okay, I'm not really playing it because I'm doing other videos, but if I wasn't doing videos on games, I'd still be playing Skyrim on and off, but Skyrim would be my only video game I would ever play if it had co-op. Like, I swear it was such a good game, but it gets old exploring a world by yourself. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It does. It's so much more fun with a friend. You can be like,
especially
oh,
when it's
talk to your friend
so
while you're
big.
exploring the world. No, fuck you. My friend should be right beside me. We should be killing that dragon together because you
Right.
know what? In an age that in this age, everything should have co-op. There is no reason for a game to not have co-op. You can make everything have co-op and make sense. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And the second player doesn't always have to be a name dude. He can be Soldier A. Fuck it, I don't care. As long
Soldier.
as in Halo 4, it wasn't like they were, there was 2 chiefs sitting there. It wasn't like, Chief A, Chief, and then hey, Chief brought a buddy along from cryo sleep. It didn't matter. There was there's still multiplayer in that. You can
Yeah.
still present the story like that. We all accept that. We
We
can
all
choose
said
to
okay.
play that way or not. If we want to play it solo, we can. But every game should have that. Every
I
game.
mean, including Far Cry. Far Cry definitely should have had it.
Far Cry has co-op. It does. But it
But
doesn't
it's
have
not like
co-op
the
in the
open
way we
world.
want it. It doesn't have
Right.
co-op, and me and you can go slay that fucking tiger together, put it on our foreheads, and run around like Indians. Like, why is this not possible? It is possible. I know it's possible. Why is this not happening?
I know. It was it was a great game, but it's just like one of those things. It's like, come on, really,
Yeah.
guys? I mean, and definitely, and I really hope that Dead Space is going to turn into the same thing and make it like that too, because it's so much fun when you can do that.
Well,
I mean, it's so much fun having. Borderlands 2 fucking did it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Borderlands did it. Borderlands 1 win it. A
Oh yeah,
lot of
Borderlands
games
1,
have
I
done
guess
it.
2.
Mass Effect. Okay, I guess in one thing I can understand in RPG games it's a little bit different. Like Mass Effect, I don't know. Like it would be fun with a
It'd be
friend,
hard though,
but
because
not in that story mode.
yeah,
If
because
you
I
did
mean,
it like
because a lot of it's I obviously it'd be good for the fights when you're actually fighting, but when you're running around, like say like running around in like the Citadel or running around on your ship, it's kind of hard to have 2 players.
well, yeah, that stuff necessarily wouldn't be as fun. But if you did it like they did, okay. So the one thing I loved about Star Wars: The Old Republic, Star Wars it should have totally been um, Knights of the Old Republic. Never been an MMO. Okay, that game had great storytelling, great cinematic and moral options. They were cool. Like all of that was good. I love playing that game. But I did not want to pay $15 to play a game that I felt like should have been single player. You know what I mean?
Right.
Single player or limited co-op. I did not feel like I needed a big multiplayer. Hundreds of thousands of people playing with me because they didn't make it feel like that. And B,
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt cooler if they took the aspects of that MMO, changed it to like a 4-player co-op game. The way they did the story and the options of how it's kind of random and in certain situations, like some characters get bonuses on who gets to speak or whatever, and who gets to make certain decisions. That was perfect because it was cool. It worked out well, and and it doesn't matter. You can be like, oh, well, I don't want to play with somebody that's going to blow somebody up when I'm a good guy. Well, fuck you. You're not going to get along with everybody in the real world, doesn't mean so that kind of like translates a real world thing into a game that your companions and you aren't going to always be on the same side. Now, you don't have to play with someone that's going to troll the whole time. You want to be with people that are going to take it seriously, but if they seriously think, hey, this outcome, this bad or rebel, this say, let's go Mass Effect here, this renegade thought I think is better than this Paragon way, you know what I mean? We're just like screwing ourselves in the ass helping this guy out. We might as well just shoot him in the head,
Right, absolutely.
Maybe he thinks that's better. And if he really thinks that way, that's like a good like real life simulation there, you know what I mean? And that could work really well in a video game if I had 4 buddies sitting with me in the Mass Effect world. totally doing that shit, you know, like being serious about it'd be like adult role playing.
Yeah,
In a video game. It'd be fun. Like, you know what I mean? We all make our own versions of the character, and we basically go through like a D&D Mass Effect session. That would just be awesome. Like, that's what Mass Effect needs to figure out. If it can do that, if BioWare can like be like, yeah, this next Mass Effect, by the way, totally gonna follow this dude. He said it on FNA. Like, you should just like listen to it. That's what we're gonna do. Like, that's fucking what we're gonna do. we're gonna make a game. We can play for like 4 people, and you can go around. You make decisions, and if your buddy screws you in the ass, like, not our fault.
Not our fault. I guess you're not friends. Where are you?
No, that'd be totally cool too. Like, at one point, like, one of the group members could screw over the other 3 and become like this badass motherfucker, and like he gets to go off on his own, but the other 3 are trapped in prison or something.
Yeah.
They should just do that. They could make a sweet game out of that. Like, I would buy that, and I'd throw my wallet at the TV constantly. Like, just give me your product. I want that.
That'd be great. I mean, it'll be a lot of fun, and
Mass
it'd really be really cool.
storyline does
It'll definitely
something.
work out well.
And I hope it's a prequel. I just do. I don't know. Prequel would be cool. Like,
Yeah.
put me in. Fuck it. I don't want humans to be in it at all. Put me in the Krogan. Like, take the whole period of the Krogan rising up. So like, take the whole period of like the Solarians grabbing the Krogan to fight the Rachni, and then the Turians being like, holy shit, these Krogans are rebelling. You know, they're being fucking crazy. Let's fight them. Like, take that whole period, split it into multiple games, just like you did with Mass Effect 3, and let's make this a 4-player game where we can, you know, go around with our buddies and make these huge decisions that affect the future.
Definitely. I
But
mean,
the
it'd
problem
still
with
be.
that is they're going to be like, well, you're not going to be able to pick if you give them the genophage or not, because, you know, that obviously happens in canon gameplay. So that's going to happen. So, like, stuff like that, that's why prequel is going to be hard to do for Mass Effect, is because people are going to be like, well, I want my outcome to happen. But wait, if you think about it, if it's a prequel, it doesn't matter what the fuck your outcome was. History's already been determined, bitch.
Yeah, right. And that's
So,
yeah. And
it'd
that's
be cool.
how it works out. I mean, like Halo 4, like, I mean, it obviously doesn't like do the pre-com, but I mean, like you knew that's what was happening when Halo Reach came out. So I mean, like Mass Effect 3 will still be the same way. Is, well, I mean, maybe it might be kind of like a certain outcome, but it's still the same point in fact that you already know what's to come. So I mean, you're just geared. Like, it's just showing you like what's all happened before that.
I think BioWare's handled it well. That you noticed in every game. Do you need to walk through again? Okay, tell me where you're going right now. 1, 2, 3, go. You notice that in every game, no matter Renegade or Paragon, every game got you to the same point. Now you know what I mean? Mass Effect 1, you killed Saren, Sovereign got destroyed. No matter what, okay? Oh my god, Leslie. Go! Anyways, so it goes back and forth. Damn it, you're distracting me. Just go through. Stop coming back and forth. Put on a shirt. Okay, so no matter, you know, the difference is like how you got there, you know? So how you killed Saren. How your crew handled it. Who died in your crew along the way. That was all really good stuff. So I think they would be able to handle a prequel to be able to get all to the same point, no matter the choices, just, you know, how the choices all kind of led up to the same thing. They're good at that. They got the writers for that. I believe they can handle it. They fudged the ending up a little bit. Not that I'm pissed on how it ended, because, you know, the writers have the creative, you know, it's their project. They can end it however the fuck they wanted. If they wanted to like Shepard to wake up on a ship and be like, it was all a bad dream.
I mean, if they were taking it all from like or from like the marker, so like all that happens from the marker at the very beginning of the first game, and then like or the like the whatever you want to fuck, that's a marker. I'm thinking Dead Space. The fuck. At the very first game that starts all of us off, they go to Prime Eden for that, the beacon.
The beacon.
Say like and then like all that happens for the beacon, and then he wakes up still on the ground from the beacon. He goes, well, fuck, now I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
whatever, it would have happened. But at the same point in time, though, like they did change writers, and I always hate when in the middle of a series that you're gonna change a writer, because it kind of does. I mean, because like one writer, like he starts the game out, like the game's out with everything, that how he's like he already has a plan of how it's gonna happen. happen, and then you change writers, and then you end up getting fucked over because it's not going to be how it was originally supposed to be,
Yeah.
which kind of blows.
But the only thing I feel the problem was with Mass Effect 3,
You're quiet, Brexton.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. The only thing I feel that is my biggest issue with the ending is that Mass Effect seemed okay. So for being sci-fi, it seems so realistic. You know what I mean? Like all of it was like, yeah, that could really happen. Like that could really happen. Totally. The problem was the ending went over the top. Like I felt like because it was not. I mean, yeah, they blew us away. You know what I mean? It wasn't a predicted ending. None of us saw that coming. You know?
Right.
I mean, we all some of it. I kind of saw that Shepard would probably die. I figured Shepard would die no matter what. Shepard was dead. Because it was his last game. They wanted to make sure that you knew that it was his fucking last game. Like he's dead. Okay. No matter if his hand moves in one of your videos, he's dead.
He's dead.
It does not matter. He's fucked. I promise you, you will never see a Shepard game again. And, you might hear about Shepard in one of your games, but you will not play as Shepard.
Ever again, right?
Yeah,
no, that's understandable.
So they wanted to make that clear. So I understood that. But I felt like they went so far over the top. Like, couldn't they have just had it, we beat the Reapers, we didn't beat the Reapers? Did they have to have it that this boy, I know he wasn't
whole
supposed-
thing
he wasn't a boy,
changes?
but the whole, you having to pick between these three certain things, do you control the Reapers? That just who wants? I know people maybe wanted to control the Reapers, but why did it have to be done like that? That was a little bit ridiculous. Like, I don't know, wasn't there just like a software override? They're just fucking machines. Like, there's the better software override than that. Why? I get that the little boy took an image from Shepard, whatever, and that's why he appeared by that. But why, little boy? Really? Really? Like, make it more believable. Can it just be like a mysterious figure? Another alien? Like, fucking just make it a sweet-looking electric alien. I don't care. Make it different. Make it me think that this is an overlord type of dude and not like a fucking little dude that is... How the fuck did you get here? That's what... When I saw him, I was like, what? What?
Yeah.
My mind just went boom when I saw that. It was so dumb. So... just little things that they took over the top on how they handled it. Like, all of those outcomes that they had could have been gotten to differently, but they went so over the top with it. It felt so detached from the rest of the game. You know what I mean? Everything else was so believable. They had you in this emotion state. The captain has just died. Anderson had just died. I know he's not a captain anymore. General Anderson, whatever he was at that point, just died. I was on the verge of tears. I was like, no, we made it, but my best friend died. Okay, actually, let's be honest. What's his name was my best friend? The Turian.
The Turian, Garrus.
Garrus was my best
Garrus was
friend.
amazing.
But Anderson died. He's like a father to me. That's what I was thinking. And I'm like, oh, now we're gonna watch Shepard die. Like, that would have been perfect. Like, what I said is, turn your Xbox off right before you go up the fucking lift. If you turn your Xbox off as you're going up the lift, perfect ending. You know what I mean? You died and it looks like you're going to heaven. That's, you know what I mean? Perfect. Done. You finished the game. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
It didn't work.
And I agree.
You don't want to hear that. Like, maybe one of the endings was, it didn't work. Shepard, it didn't work. That's the bad ending. The good ending was, woo, Shepard, you're a fucking hero. Yeah. That's all you had to give me. Like, you didn't have to explain why the Reapers were there. I didn't fucking care. As long as they were gone, don't answer that question. If you're going to keep making Mass Effect games, answer that question somewhere else. Just don't blow it up. You know what I mean? Don't, I don't know, it was better to have them be mysterious on their origins to tell me that this one entity made them. Now I'm going, who made that entity, and why the fuck haven't we heard of him before? I can sit here and just rant on Mass Effect for the next hour, but I don't want to do that. I realize I'm ranting now.
But, I agree, though. It's just one of those things that it's still, like, you can kind of understand, but at the same point in time, it still royally pisses you off that they would do something like that. After everything that we've been through, everything that you go through, it's just like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah. Well, but the problem is also, like, if you're going to do it, I understand we were pissed off, and I'm glad you didn't completely change the ending, because that would have really showed you guys are pussies. I'm glad they just when they extended it and showed what kind of happened to the characters afterwards. That was smart. Like, why the fuck didn't they have that in the first place as real cinematics and not just like pictures of a slideshow? It should have been real cinematics of what happened to your crew and their lives. You know what I mean? Because these characters you had been so connected to, so ingrained, you know, you had spent so much time with. Why did they not do that in the first place? Like, why did they not think we'd want that? You know, like where was the? They don't give a shit about the characters. They don't care what happened to Sam.